Game on! Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I'm so excited to have on, again, a 42-year-old from Elmira, Ontario, Canada, actually just down the road from where I grew up. He is wearing a fresh red hat after coaching the under 11 Woolwich Wildcats to the OMHA Championship. And it's not the first time he's won that. We did it way back in the day as puppies. And he is also an OHL champion and just a fantastic guy that I can't wait to catch up with. Welcome back, Rodney Bauman.
Hey, hey, I don't hear any applause, but that's fine. You get a few more buttons on your podcast.
It's really fun with this podcast, how it's reconnected me with all my old friends. Right after you won, I got a picture of you holding a trophy in the lobby with your fresh red hat.
Nice.
And you know who sent it to me was a guy we won with, Bobby Eby.
Really? Yeah, he was there. He stayed. His team unfortunately didn't make it on to the playoff round, but they stayed to watch our championship game. So that was kind of cool.
You know what? My under 13 Kincardine Kinucks also won the Red Hats, and we're two age groups together here. So the under 15s were there too. Also didn't make it out of the round robin, but they had about 5 kids I coached last year to the Red Hats, and all the families and the kids stayed overnight, then stayed all day for the semis and the finals. And then they came right out on the ice and celebrated with us after.
Yeah.
And it means a lot as a coach when the kids stick around to support you the next year, eh? Fun
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, for sure. So is this back-to-back coaching victories for you?
Yeah, that's right. I only had 3 returning players too. Last year I had 3 first years. So those 3 boys, my son, Brady Collins, and Andrew Humphrey, Little Humps, they went back to back, and pretty neat because this was the last year of the Kincardine Canucks because they're amalgamating and becoming an A center. So I'd say we ended it right by winning back to back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's an exciting time up there too, getting your own single A loop now and combining these teams. I mean, some of the families are probably a bit nervous. Nobody really knows how the teams are going to look, but I'm sure they'll all be good with all these small town centers.
Yeah, it's going to be very different. I don't know if it makes our team better, to be honest with you. We're adding Wingham, Ripley, and Luck now. Wouldn't say they're the biggest talent pools, but Kincardine has a lot. But having 2 years together and having the high end first years as well as the best second years, you can really build some squads. And what I liked about it is, like, for my son, the first year we won, he wasn't the guy. Like, he had to fit in and play like a role on a team, and he had to learn that side of hockey instead of always being the guy. Where 1 year together, it's usually the same guys are the guys, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Mm. So how did yours go? I heard you guys went undefeated this season.
Yeah, we had, I have it written down here. We had a great regular season. We went 23-0-3 in our regular season, and that's that we had an 11 team pool, and most of our teams are down towards Toronto. Like we have Oakville, Milton, Burlington, Halton Hills, Guelph is in there, Owen Sound. So yeah, we have a big loop, and we didn't lose a game in regular season, and then we went into our league final, which is those same teams, and ended up going 14-0, and really kind of hit our stride. Things started really firing. We started scoring a lot of goals, and then we made it to the OMHA tournament and won 5-0 with went 5-0 with there was 2-2-1 games in there against the top 2 seeded teams in Ontario. By
So
that,
what was your final game? Was it a close one?
it was 2-1. Yes, it was very close.
Oh man, aren't those intense as a coach? Like, I don't care what you're saying. You can be playing for the Stanley Cup. You can be playing for any trophy in the world. Those OMHA championships, when you get the best teams in Ontario and you're coaching under 13 kids, it's as intense as hockey gets. I don't care what you
Oh,
say.
yeah. I mean, I've said to many people, like, I've never been that nervous around hockey before. Like playing is a totally different energy because when you get out there, you're expending the energy. You're just in it. You don't have this built
It all
built
built up inside and you can't do anything about it.
you can't get it out. But yeah, so actually our tournaments went really well this year too. We went 6-0 in the Oktoberfest tournament. We played in a double A tournament for a challenge just before playoffs and made it to the semifinals. And the only game we lost to a single A team this year was in the Silver Stick final to this South Oxford team who we played in the final against in the OMHA, who we beat 2-1.
Yeah, that's interesting. Last year we played up and went to a couple eight tournaments, and we won one of them. The other one we lost in the semis, and I think it was that South Oxford team. And it is fun going up a level, challenge yourselves. But yeah, I know the teams you're talking about. You guys must have a squad. So how many years? Because for me, I found it. I felt like this year was meant to be all year. We didn't have the same season as you. We started out 0-2, and our first playoff game we lost 7-2. But other than that, we went in 5 tournaments, and we were in the finals of every one. Won 3 of them, lost 2, but the one of them we lost was to Petrolia in the International Silver Stick final, and they beat us in the round robin, then in the final, and beat us pretty good both times. And they had a player, and you know whose nephew it was? Greg Edgar. So, yeah, so they beat us in an International Silver Stick final. I'm upset, all that built up energy inside of you, and we lose. I'm walking out of the arena, and then there's Eddie walking in, and I'm like, don't tell me that's your kid. And he's like, oh, it's my nephew. We're so proud of him. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I gave him a nut tap. But then we played them the last game of the round robin of OMHAs, and whoever won moved on. And I told my boys, I'm like, this season, this was all coming to this point. Us versus Petrolia to see who ends whose season. And my boys went out and played a flawless game. We were in control. And then my one defenseman, my beast, he's a bit of a bully. He was actually the same size as Eddie's nephew. And man, he was right up in his face the whole game. And I don't think that kid was used to having a guy the same size as him out there. And we basically shut him down. The kid made it 2-1 with 4 minutes left. And then it got pretty intense, but we did end their season and got to move on. And I was so proud of the boys. But yeah, beating a team that beat you and like really crushed your dreams in Silver Stick, it felt pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, fun stuff.
Her storybook intro to their playoffs.
Yeah, but so anyways, these kids, most of my core, you could say, I coached my first year of coaching under 11 AE. They were first years that year. And then the next year I coached Zoe. So then when I coached under 13 last year, it was none of really the same kids. But getting to coach them this year, and it was the kids I'd been with a few years ago, and seeing the players they'd become, and then getting to actually win it with them, it was like it all came full circle. So how long you been with your boys?
This was 7th full year. So some of them I started 8 years ago with when they were 3, and
And you've raised them right up, and now you don't even lose a game.
yeah, so it's pretty cool. A couple have flew the coop to AAA already, and everyone who hasn't, we have such an amazing parent group, such an amazing bunch of kids. There's nobody that's needs extra attention or selfish. Everyone just buys into working hard and what I'm telling them. And the last 2 years has been incredible to see the development.
It's building a culture. It takes time. I found it really neat with my boys this year. Well, I had 2 players that they're AAA players, Brady and Colby, and I had 3 lines and 6D all year, and I was trying to figure out a way to play them every other shift, and I didn't do it all year. And then when we got to our league finals, that week I brought out the left wingers, 3 of them, and I said, I think our team's best with 2 centers. And the one kid's like, yeah, we are. Like every time we were missing a kid and we played 2 centers, we'd crush the other team. And I drew it up on the board. I said, so this left winger is always going to go with this right winger because they're like our top line. I'm like, the other 3 of you are just going to keep rotating through. And when that one line's ready, you'll just filter behind them and they stay together. But then the 3 of you just rotate. And I presented it to them. They said, okay. I'm like, we're just doing this to win. And the way they bought into it, once I switched to it after the second period of the finals, we were losing. I switched to it for the third. We came back and won that game. So I went the next game with it. And then I went the rest of the way running it that way. And it was so cool to see my kids come to the bench. And I didn't have to say anything to anybody. They understood the system and how it worked. And that left winger would then just slide behind the other two and they go in and it wasn't too much management because they just bought in and did it for the team. And I couldn't have been prouder. And I think those three left wingers buying into how it was going to work was the reason we won. If they don't buy into it, you don't win, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And when you hear them and it's not their turn to go and they're on the bench cheering.
Exactly. That's what you want. And it's not about you, it's about the team. And when your team doesn't care who scores the goals and gets the assists, they just care about winning, then you know you got them, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Is, isn't it fun though? Doesn't it bring back memories of when we were kids and crushing everybody?
Well, that's basically the reason why I wanted it so bad for these kids is
You know what it brings.
yeah, yeah, for sure. You remember as a kid, you because you have those memories and
Yeah.
the bond with the group of guys or whatever, you just want it so bad for them, right?
Well, and you see them become brothers for life. And just like we were, and like you see that core guys we grew up with that we were all still hanging out every weekend when we were 20s, right? Like, and I see it happening with these kids around here. They have these group chats. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. They're all trooping around. They see each other at the rink. They just go run over to each other and they're gone hanging out with when it's not their game. They're just gone hanging out for 2 hours or whatever, having fun.
I think this is the coolest thing that's ever happened in my coaching career, other than winning all Ontario's the last 2 years, is the team I won with last year. So they're mainly a year older than Colby. Have taken it upon themselves. One of my assistant captains wrote to me and said, can we please do a spring hockey team, one weekend, one tournament, and get our former team back together for one weekend? And I said, hey man, I'm busy, but if there's a weekend to do it, we can do it. So he's like, well, we need you to do it. We need you, Wally. And I'm like, hey, then let's do it. These kids found a tournament. They started a group chat. Now they've started an Instagram account and they're announcing players and they're putting up their pictures of when they were little kids and they're announcing players and it's so hockey. And then they had like a coaching announcement that I was coaching and they want to wear my 2Ls and Hockey Tails jerseys and they all want to get 2Ls and Hockey Tails jerseys made up and they called themselves TAT Hockey, TAHT for 2Ls and Hockey Tails. And I'm going to get to coach a spring hockey team with a bunch of kids ripping around with pints on their jerseys.
That's good. That's quite the influence. Are the parents all on board with this?
I might get the root beer logo on it.
Yeah. To a dark brown beverage.
But that these kids had that big of a bond that they're doing this a year later to play hockey together one more time, it just melts my heart.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's special that what these kids come together and accomplish, and then have that memory and just want to keep it going, right?
No,
But I had some people mentioned to me already that their kids are just
love hockey.
obsessed with hockey now from the year we had.
Yeah.
So they want to play all hockey all the time and
And
keep.
that's what you want as a coach, right? I always say it's like, I'm not going to tell you to go home and shoot pucks, but come the end of the year, you're going to know which teams love hockey and went home and shot pucks on their own and tried to get better because we can only do so much at practice. It's what you do at home when nobody's watching, you know?
Yeah, we had that was a big message for my guys. We had early morning ice times and stuff this year. We had an intro, some physical stuff at CrossFit. So I told them, I said, when it comes down to these final games, it's the stuff that nobody knows about that's going to win it for you.
It's like our team was only getting like 50 minutes a week to practice. So all the parents, we had to pay out of pocket and we did 7 a.m. practices before school. And all the parents had to pay, I had to pay. But those extra practices we put in, I think, end up being the difference because then 50 minutes, you got to do a lot of team stuff. And then when do you work on the actual individual skills and stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly the time flies when you get into a practice and the stuff you have running through your head as a coach. And okay, you watch your games. We need to improve on this and this. You come up with a drill or a system that you want to see them start to develop, and then that takes 25 minutes of your practice. And you know what? There's 5 minutes left, and the kids want to have a bit of fun. They throw a game in at the end and let them have a bit
So,
of.
because I am an aspiring coach, what's your favorite drill in practice?
So here's a interesting tidbit for your listeners. Uh, I've actually never in 7 years. Um, I've never taken anything off any coaching websites or drills or anything. I've watched our games and found where our deficiencies are, what our defense need to work on, what our forwards need to work on, and basically came up with stuff in my head on how I want to see it develop and them develop and not have the right number of kids moving and resting and all that stuff. So it's uh, it's been a long haul and a
It's all
lot.
up in your head.
It's all in my head.
I understand. I just jot down stuff real quick of what I want to go over, and usually there's a few things I need to hit on that we need to improve on. But I also don't look up any websites or anything, but I do on here ask people their favorite drills because
Yeah,
sometimes they've given me some real doozies that really do help.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
It takes everybody to win, I find. And when I get to talk to great hockey minds around the world, there's some great ideas out there.
there absolutely is. I know there's one that the kids enjoy, where you have one goalie in net and two lines of two teams, and you can start 2-on-2 in just one blue line in one end zone, and they can pass it back to their line to add another player, and it just creates so much puck movement. They love it, and
Mm,
it's just all heads up, creating space, getting open is the big thing with younger kids. They have to,
playing away from the puck.
yeah, they have to understand that if they're not open with their stick ready, they're not getting the puck. So that was a big thing for us.
So if you guys did this well this year, you got to have a couple players, eh?
Yeah, we have our goalie and our defense core. In single A hockey, I think we gave up less than a goal a game, which is pretty impressive for boys hockey because there's a lot of goals. And then we have a forward who we added this year who's never played organized hockey before, in Braden Fry. He's actually a guy I grew up with. It's his son, um, Kendrick Fry's son, and he's actually related to Brady Martin, who plays up in the Sioux. It's
Mm-hmm. Who's
it's,
a
it's
player.
yeah, it's his cousin, so they come from quite the hockey family.
And he had
And
never played?
he no, he had played in their rec league that they have going through their community church and everything in Drayton, and but has never played in a league. But the kid
So
just
he must have really gotten better, eh?
he just loves hockey. It's crazy how you coach so many kids, and then you have a kid come out of
The
no
woodwork.
no program before and just reads the game, and he's never out of position, and he's picking off passes, and he's not selfish. He's a passer. He's just a player. Uh,
Oh, that
so
must be fun to coach.
so with him, and he's the nicest kid. He's always smiling and asking questions, and all the kids just love him. And he must have scored probably half of our goals this year, and I put him on a line with our captain Sam Hoyt. The kid just works and works and works. The two of them were two of the best single A players in Ontario. It was incredible, and it's a coach's dream having a couple of forwards like that, and then defense and goalies were just they were top notch as well. So,
Oh,
um,
you
yeah,
know what?
we
It's interesting what I had going on is I had Brady Collins, who was my captain, who, well, like come from a farming family, and they live right around the corner from Colby, and see Colby and Brady grow up together, and then they were two of the best single A players around. It reminded of me and you because we grew up right down the road from each other, and we were line mates, and we ran amok and won a lot of stuff together. And to see these kids go back to back, and they're my leaders, and they play hockey the right way, and they play hard, and they play defense first, and They play a team game. It is pretty neat. It really brought me back in time to like me, you, and Weidman, and then Lackner, and like to think of what a winning culture can do. It's like just because you're in small town Kincardine doesn't mean you guys can't go places. Like you guys are players and you know how to play hockey the right way. And like you look at our single A team from Elmira, what you did, winning the OHL championship. Weidman playing over 800 games in the NHL or whatever. Lackner getting a scholarship, Hogger getting a scholarship, and then we still had Ranker, year older, getting a scholarship, and that all came out of Elmira, Ontario. And I think that's kids loving hockey and coming up together and winning and loving it.
Yeah, that's the biggest piece is kind of not caring about anything else but just loving hockey. Like,
Yeah,
and we just played, right? Like
and loving each other too, right?
it was road hockey. It was roller hockey. It was everything in between. It wasn't just it wasn't hang your stick up or skates up after practice and that was it until next time. You just, when practice was over or whatever, we just went out and played more because,
Hmm. I
because that's
find if you're just going to hockey to just play hockey, you're not gonna make it places and you're not gonna enjoy it as much. I kicked off my season um, with a tournament right away in a hotel, and I wanted to bring everybody together. And I told them, I'm like, there was no semifinals, so you basically had to make it with the round robin. So I told them, I'm like, you guys win the first two games today. You can shave my head at the hotel after. And that turned in to all of them shaving each other's heads as well as mine. And we went out with the best haircuts in hockey and then won the tournament. And I thought it really brought the boys together. And then I followed that up with went to the Bruce Beach golf course, the little cottage course by our cottage, and had a 9-hole scramble tournament. And I made the teams like their lines with one coach or the D pairs with the coach. And it really brought the squad together. And that's what I always say. Hockey isn't just about playing hockey.
no, you have to genuinely everybody on the team has to be in it. It's not about one or two players or a couple goal scorers or a couple good defense. It's everybody's on board and having a blast.
And it takes everybody to win. And that's what I said. It's like our first game, we had a tough one in OMHA. We were down 2-0 and we were getting our show ran by Huntsville. And Colby had a game that day, and he scored 3 nice goals and tied it up with 2.5 minutes left, and we ended with a tie, but we were lucky to tie. But I said in the speech after, I'm like, yeah, Colby played great and he got us through this. But like, if we're actually going to win this thing this weekend, we need everybody playing their best hockey that they can possibly play. It's not going to be one or two guys. It's going to be everybody. And then when everybody started playing to their capabilities, it was just so heartwarming to see. And then what they had to do to win this last game, man, we played Ennismore, who hadn't lost a game in the tournament, and they were deep and they had no weaknesses. And we were down 1-0 going into the third. And man, that was as intense as hockey got. We tied it up early in the third, and then we took the lead with 5 minutes left. Greasy rebound goal. And then we hung on for the last 5 minutes, and to see everybody dig down deep and do what it took to get through that. Oh man, they know how to hockey.
It's pretty sweet to when you see the impact that you've kind of created on these little guys, and then after you win, how much,
It means to them.
yeah, how much fun they're having.
Well, and it's not just even the kids. I say when the team wins, everybody wins. Like the siblings, the parents, they were just as happy as the players. Like,
Yeah.
everybody gets to win. And are you guys having a parade or have you had one?
We are doing a fire truck ride. That's what we do here in Elmira. Is
Oh,
there's
I know. I've been on one with you.
an old 1949 fire truck that you rip around on and wave to everybody, and it's the boys are looking forward to that.
Yeah, we have a parade lined up, I think, for the start of May, which I would rather do it right away when, the iron's still hot. But kids went on vacation stuff right away after. So we're trying to get everybody there the same time, but difficult once the season ends and all the other things fire up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a parade last year, and it's days you never forget, man. Like it really is.
Oh, at when the buzzer went and the parents were coming on the ice, like we had parents crying. Like it was, it
Man,
was, it was,
it's
it was.
it's a lot to take in, isn't it?
It sure is. Grandparents,
Um,
everything. Cool.
Yeah.
But going back to your comment about the small town guys, like um, I think that's what hockey in Canada is all about. Like it's not all about the kids from Toronto with endless resources. It's the kids who come from these small town hockey towns and hockey families that are the ones who succeed a lot because they just love it and they go out there and work. So with
And they all, I find, um, growing up playing those Toronto teams, there were some high-end talent, but they didn't have that team, that team identity, and they weren't in it for each other, and they weren't a community all cheering for each other. You go out to the lobby and all our parents are standing together in a circle, and it's like a family. And then you see the city folk all scattered around the lobby. They're not really talking to each other. Then they'd switch teams all the time, and you go back the next year and they're playing for some other team. Um, I find playing in your hometown with your best friends and doing it for each other teaches people how to hockey the right way. And then once you get to the higher levels, coaches appreciate the guys that put the team first
Yeah, absolutely. And that's basically why I had success in the OHL because I didn't care. I just wanted to be there.
and
And
do whatever they asked of
yeah,
you.
my first couple of years wasn't glamorous, but I stayed in the lineup, and it was a rougher game back then. But my last 2 years, power play, penalty kill,
And you were assistant captain and you won the championship.
pretty much a point a game guy. So it resonated with the coaches, and don't think that it's not noticed when you're there to make the team better in whatever role you can.
That brings back a memory. Speaking of great haircuts in hockey, I remember coming to support you playing against the Kitchener Rangers, and you had shaved your head like you were bald.
Yeah,
I remember you standing out there for Canada. You had the horseshoe shaved out of your head. I guess that happened naturally now, though, eh?
at 19 years old, I thought it was funny, but the
Never
joke
grew back.
joke was on me. It never came back.
But speaking of what guys can do from a small town, it's like I was getting texts from our former teammate of the '83 Woolwich team, Dennis Weidman, was texting me yesterday, and I hadn't chatted with him in a bit, and he was texting me from the Frozen Four that my Western Michigan Broncos just won in overtime against Denver to go to the national championship game, and Weidman was there scouting, and he's a player development guy for the Florida Panthers now. Look at us go.
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty sweet. Broncos are in it.
It's unbelievable, man. It's got like when I left, there was hard feelings between a lot of players and the coach that we had, and there was some sour milk that guys had drank. And this new coach, what he's done to the program, and he's just pumping out pros year after year, and he doesn't hold anybody back. He wants them to go, he gets them ready, and he lets them leave early. And he just brings in the next wave of guys, and everybody wants to be a Western Michigan Bronco now. And it is so cool to see because I always said that school has everything you need to be a powerhouse. Because when I went there, I never wanted to go any other school in the world because it was incredible. And to see what they're doing now, man, tomorrow they are playing for the national championship. Wild.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And you're grateful or whatever. You think back to your time there and how great it was, and now these kids are getting a chance for the ultimate prize, right? And you're that now you're a proud alumni, right?
Well, all the alumni are so proud now, and it's gotten all these group chats going. I'm in the group chat with the freshmen when I was a senior, then the guys in my class, then the guys a few years older. I'm in three different group chats with these guys, and like their guys are going to St. Louis for the games. They're talking about all being there, and like I never went back to Western Michigan for 18 years. I was in Europe a lot. I was gone, and then you come over the summer, it's busy. But last summer I went back for the golf tournament with three fellas that were a couple classes older than me. I reconnected with the whole Bronco family. I met the new coach. And he's like, we got to bring all your guys back. And I'm like, I totally agree. Like, I feel like we're still family around here when I got back. And now to see what they're doing and everybody's chatting again. And I couldn't be prouder to be an alumni. And it's really neat to see. And then when you're talking to guys that are there scouting my Broncos that are with the NHL, it's like we're finally where we should have been, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And the program is tops in the country, right?
And winning gets people talking and it gets people places. That's what I always say. The year I was up for the Hobie Baker and scored like 50 points, my coach had instructed me not to get an agent. He told me I didn't need one. And then I didn't understand why. And then I had met the guy I wanted, and I waited till near the end of the year. And then when I finally went with him, he said, "Well, I've been calling around and not many teams have come to see you play." And I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Up for the Hobie Baker?" And he's like, "Yeah, but your team's not winning." And I'm like, "Right." You know,
Yeah.
winning gets people in the arena and it gets people talking. Going to championship games gets people like it gets you way more out there, you know?
Once you start putting that on your resume multiple times, they put the pieces together.
Mm.
That
It is interesting when like doing this and you get your research team hot and you look guys up. The guys that win seem to continue to win, and then there's guys that there's just no trophies with their name.
yeah, but they might have a scoring title or a bunch
Right.
of bunch of goals that they like to tell people about, but
That's not what you remember when your career's over, is it?
no, no.
No.
So after we won there, I mean, getting the text messages from multiple people, just from even not from Elmira, people who were following it along, watching, looking at the numbers from Live Barn, and we had a parent who was YouTubing our videos or our games all year, live streaming them, and like there were thousands and thousands of viewers watching our final game.
Thousands and thousands. I thought it was pretty neat. We did the same. And when the game ended, it was at about 800. And I thought, wow, there's a lot of people watching my squad.
Yeah, so it's pretty sweet, right? Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's cool when they do that and put it up on YouTube because it's there forever. You know, that big game we won against, what was it, Moore Township or something, that one tournament, that nail biter. I
yeah.
had the VHS for years and I tried to put it in and watch it a couple years ago. Gosh darn VCR ate the tape. Don't have it anymore.
It's nothing but a memory now.
No, but if somebody would have put it on YouTube, Rodney, we'd still have that.
Yeah, and then and then we could all watch ourselves play 27 out of 30 minutes.
We didn't change much, did we? No, but we had to do, didn't we?
Yeah, whatever the coach says.
Fun fact, because I remember we were talking about this when we were going over your career. You fought Trevor Hendricks, and you guys had a good go. And we were rookies together in Dayton. Then we hooked up. We almost won that. You were lost in the finals, but then didn't see him for like 9 years. Then we both signed in Cardiff, and you hit it right off again. And then we won a trophy that year. And fun fact is he started his own hockey team this year called the Cardiff Kinucks. And it's like they can be anywhere from like 15 years old to 40 years old, and it's below like the top league over there. It's like the third league down. But he gave out free tickets all year. You just had to go on the website and download them, come in for free, and then, maybe we'll make some money off you while you're in here, but everything was free. His jerseys were incredible. And he put my Two L's and Hockey Tales logo on every single shoulder of the jerseys. And he just sent me a Walton 18 Cardiff Canucks jersey, and it means the world.
Oh, that's fantastic. So
Yeah, and I think it's hilarious that like the guys I always took a shine to in hockey were the guys that really mucked it up, and I thought it's just hilarious when talking to you two that you guys got in a fight. I don't like that, but I love it.
oh, we had to because he cared and I cared, so those guys usually butt heads. Right? But
They
if
usually do.
if we were on the same team, we would have been the best of friends.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, I thought it was really neat a guy would do that for me, knowing I'm doing this and just did it out of the goodness of his heart. And fun fact is I get to go back there in June to play a hockey game for my goat, Joey Martin, who's from Thorold. 10 years on a team in the UK, they give you a testimonial game and you get to bring back whichever teammates you want over your 10 years. So I get to go back in June and see Joey and Hendo and go muck it up for one more game.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
So is Hendricks, is he like the general manager of the team, or is he still playing?
So he didn't play. So he's the everything guy. He's the GM, the owner, and the coach.
A little bit like Reg Dunlop over there.
He didn't play though, but his team, it was their first year in existence, and well, they shocked the world and made it to the semifinals of their league. So I think they were the sixth seed in the first round and ended up winning in overtime of the final game to move on to the semis. And seeing what his players are posting and stuff on social media, like they all love playing for the Cardiff Canucks, and they're saying he's built something pretty special. It's pretty neat seeing your old teammates do cool things in hockey, isn't it?
Yeah, well, even a good Canadian kid is now over there spreading the great game in the UK, right? Like it's fantastic, and
And
now
he grew up teaching these kids, like he was running hockey schools and getting to know all these kids. And then he actually starts a team, and now he's coaching these kids that he's brought up from puppies. And it's like what you've done, coaching those kids for 7 years and then not losing a game. It's pretty neat when you put in your time and then it works out for you.
yeah, I mean, I had the ultimate send off. So this next year, the team is being coached by a complete new set of young guys. They're all in their early 20s because they know how to play hockey now. So more applicants are interested, right? I
Mm.
kind of felt everyone looked at me when these kids were young because I'm a hockey guy and grew up playing hockey. So you have to be the coach. So that's kind of how it went. And the first few years were pretty painful. It was more of a circus clown than it was a coach. But these last few years made it all worthwhile.
Um, well, I don't get fired up about this anymore. I was new in town. Nobody knows me. They just saw the short, fat guy. I guess nobody realized maybe I've played hockey, or I think they did know. But well, my record in minor hockey coaching applications currently is 1 win and 4 losses. I cannot get coaching jobs around here. This year that just happened was the first time they've ever given me the team I put my name in for. The year before, I had talked with another guy, and he said, "Well, I said your son's asking me to coach the team." I'm like, "But they're telling me a first year dad can't get the team." And I do really want to coach. And he's like, "Well, I'll put my name in, and if I get it, then we can do it together." And naturally, they did give it to him. But then he told minor hockey, said, "You're saying from the get-go, we are co-coaches and we're doing this together." And it meant the world to me. And then we go out and win all Ontario together, went 16-0 in the playoffs. And now all these kids are brothers for life. And then, well, this year they said, "Well, all Ontario coach, easy choice." And I'm like, "Well, thank you so much. I don't want to do anything else than this. Like I love coaching these kids." And then we win it again. But shoot, I just couldn't get the under 11 girls team for next year, Rodney.
It's crazy world, isn't it?
It's a tough landscape out there sometimes. But I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get upset like last time. The guy they gave it to, well, my first day at Superheat, joining the real world, he was the guy that trained me and showed me what was up. He's not with us anymore, but he is my friend, and I'm hoping that when Zoe makes the team, then I can be the assistant coach. Because for me, it's been 2 years with the boys. It's time to do a year with my daughter, and I want nothing more than that. And like, I know my son knows how to hockey now. He plays hockey the right way. He's a great teammate, and so are all these other boys. And like, it's time to let them do their thing. And I want to be with Zoe next year.
Yeah, for sure. You split the time evenly between your kids and get to travel to all the games with them and have the conversations with them and make them competitive and
And love it.
it helps them in life, right?
What
To,
kind of player is your son?
he is he's a very sensitive kid. When he's very young, it's interesting. He's the exact opposite of myself. He was timid at times, whereas I couldn't understand why he wouldn't just want to go. So these last couple of years, he really developed, and he ended up being our third line center this year, and super responsible defensively. He didn't score a whole lot, but once I told him what his role was, to make sure that we're not getting scored on, he did great on faceoffs. He understood
His role.
the defensive side of the game, and he had offensive flair at times, but he came a long way this year, and I'm really proud of him. So yeah, I'm not sure where his journey will take him, but we'll wait and see.
It's as long as they're loving it and having fun and then having those memories for life and friendships for life. It's like doing this today. I texted you and I said, hey, like, you want to talk about our boys now? And you're like, sure. And then all of a sudden we just hop on and we got nothing written down and we can just shoot the breeze about hockey.
It's it's pretty interesting. We didn't even have many scrums this year or whatever. The kids they were 10 for this hockey season, turning 11, and but there were a couple scrums that the boys actually they call fights or whatever, where they start punching each other with their gloves on and their helmets on and stuff. And I think there was maybe two or three this year, and my son was in every single one because he knows that I used to do that a little bit. So he takes it upon himself to get right in there and make sure everything's kosher. So,
Well, good for him that he's willing to do that if he's sensitive. I always found with my team, it was always the same kids getting into those things, you know?
yeah, he wants to make sure that his teammates aren't getting hurt, so he'll get right in there.
One thing we can't forget about is I'm having a golf tournament May 24th at Ainsdale Golf Course here in Kincardine. And I'm raising money for the local hospital because, well, they need more money. And I wanted a reason to see my hockey family and all my friends. And I heard a rumor you might be there.
Yeah, I'm coming this year.
Oh, baby.
With my shift work and everything, it's finally not on a date where I work the day before or the day after, or the day of, and so I got a few days off there. So I'm gonna come up and super excited that it's your brother-in-law's birthday too. One of my best buddies growing up there. I haven't spent enough time with him, so May 24th is his birthday. So looking forward to coming up there and get
Uh,
take
I
part
hope that
in
there's
golf
some people
tournament.
from Elmira that listen to this, and I want everybody here. And it's going to be a great day. It doesn't matter if you played hockey with me or not. Doesn't even matter if you know me. To book the course, I had to say I could get 112 golfers. Rodney, I have no idea if I can do that. I don't think I'm that close yet.
Okay. Well, we'll put the word out down here, and we get a couple groups coming up, and
Well, I know there are a few. Ride Tech, Scott's brothers, putting in a couple foursomes, and Scott's bringing a crew. And then we have Bays, Woody, Mikey Bauman, and Lackner playing in a group. I feel like, I moved to Kincardine, and I really missed all you guys, and it was really difficult for me when I first moved here. Now I do have a network around here, and I have a lot of friends, and a lot of it came through hockey and coaching. But to get my Elmira crew and my Kincardine crew to a golf course for a day would mean the world to me, you know?
yes, nothing like your network. Your network's never too big. You can always merge worlds and have good people meet good people.
I totally agree. And what's neat for me is I decided to raise the money for the hospital because I don't need to make money having fun with my friends. And I thought it would be a good reason. The company I work for is sponsoring my golf tournament as well as the Power Workers Union. And they're giving me pretty good checks and then there's another union that sounds like they're on board. And it sounds like we could actually make an impact around here and make some real money by having my hockey family and friends show up and golf with me for a day.
That that sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
Commitment
that's
to
that's hockey.
to the hospital and what's needed in your community. That's amazing cause to people to help out where they can. So I'll make sure to fill up my wallet and come up ready for a good day.
Oh, it's gonna be a good one. So you are allowed to stay over, Rodney, just so you know. If ever people come from Elmira, we will find places for you to stay. Right?
Oh yeah, I've already been in the talks of maybe bringing the trailer up and
It's
have
gonna
a
be a fun day, bud.
have a nice place to lumber. So we'll get some guys together.
Oh yeah. What else do we got to talk about? Lackner was also coaching kids hockey. He doesn't have a boy on the team, but I'd love to see a hockey guy getting into coaching hockey and doing it for the love and volunteering. And I know his boys went to all Ontario's too, but didn't quite grease it out. but I love seeing the guys that I know are good hockey guys giving back to the game, you know?
Yeah, and that team was really lucky to have him on board. They're the year older than us. They made it to the tournament. They won their league, um, and they didn't come out of the round robin, I don't believe. But an incredible season, and hats off to him for giving up his time and effort to help out and create hockey memories for a new group when he doesn't have any kids on the team.
I 100% agree. And then you also have from our childhood growing up together that also in NCAA, also won the Southern Cup with me and Elmira was Kyle Rank is now like running the Elmira Sure Kings.
Yeah, he's director of hockey operations there. So I also work with him at the fire hall in Waterloo. So I get to hear about all the
Ups and downs.
ups and downs, and that's quite taking to take on a junior B squad while you have young. He's got his girls playing hockey. He's coaching one of them, and obviously working shift work. So it's a busy schedule. But kudos to him because I can probably tell you right now he's doing it because of his memories that he had as a Sugar King. So he's creating that for new guys.
It's cool to see. And he also has that charity where they get hockey equipment for, help out kids as whatever, right? Where they give equipment for kids that maybe can't afford it. And I tell you, this minor hockey is sure expensive.
Yeah, it seems to be an endless drain on parents and families. So what they're doing there is fantastic. There's a great cachet of equipment that people
Cachet, what a word.
rotate in and out of. If their kids have outgrown skates, they'll donate them there. Um, and if anybody needs something, then yeah, we'll go get them elbow pads, shoulder pads if they're on to the next size, and they don't need a $200 pair of shoulder pads. They'll find a good set that fits and carry on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's hockey, and Ranker's doing some great things for the Elmira community, isn't he? Just
Sure.
like the old man did.
Yep.
Mm, Genes are a thing. Do you have anything for me today while we're on this?
I don't think so. I think we covered a lot of bases.
I feel like every pod I'm gonna do for the next while, I will be bringing up my Kincardine Canucks because as a coach, I really am like the proudest coach in the world of my last two teams that like they played hockey the right way. They played defense first, but they cared more than anybody else, but they also cared about each other more than anybody else. And you see the hugs after they win, and you just see those brotherhoods forming, and it's gonna last forever. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. The I got to touch on one point with my group and the camaraderie. We always joked about kind of the last whatever 5, 6 kids in the room that they take their full half-hour allotment to before they come out of the dressing room because it's their favorite time to be in there. And they came up with a player of the game, like a squishy gorilla thing that they passed around. And it wasn't to any kid who scored goals or whatever. It was to someone who made a nice play or blocked a shot or a goalie who made a good save at the right time. So they just they just had fun in the dressing room, and I remember doing that too. My parents would always go crazy because I was the last one out, and you feel great after you're done on the ice, whether it's practice or a game. You just feel great, and you just want to hang out and chat and be goofy and
And winning's fun, and then the boys have fun in the locker room.
yeah. And what's the hurry to get home? Are you gonna come home and they're gonna watch YouTube or play video games or whatever? So why not let them hang out there and be social and have some fun in the
And
dressing room?
hockey's not just about being on the ice, it's about the locker room too. And this year I had a player of the game thing that I thought was pretty neat was I had found a really, really, really big bone in the forest a couple years ago. And I didn't know what to do with it or what. I just sat in my garage for years. And then I needed a player of the game thing. I spray painted the bone orange, put a big chain on it, and then wrote earned it and got it done on the other side. And we would give out the big bone after a game, but it wasn't who scored the goals. It was like who mucked it up the hardest or blocked a big shot. But I got to shout out my goalie because I don't know what the under 13 record is for shutouts in a season, but my link ended with 18 shutouts this season.
Wow, that's incredible.
It was. And he was a first year goalie, but he's the size of all the big second years. He's a huge kid that he was always in the right spot, did what it takes to make the big saves, and he was everything we needed. And you see a kid get that many shutouts. Every time he gets shutout, I get him the puck, tape it up, and he's got a pile of pucks.
Keep those on his dresser and keep it from tipping over.
Yeah. Um, gonna find it funny that I'm supposed to return all the pucks from this year. We don't have many left because every shutout and every hat trick I gave away the pucks, and there was a lot of hat tricks and a lot of shutouts.
Here's your 9 pucks back. Thanks.
Yeah, and we already had to fill it up once this year. Thank you for making the time for me. And I say this is hockey is I mean, we haven't played together since the Sugar Thangs, our rookie years, and then you went off to the OHL. But those friendships you build coming up, playing minor hockey and winning trophies, and then our circle of friends, it was our hockey friends, and seeing these kids build those friendships around Kincardine now and what you're doing in Elmira, I just love to see it. And seeing you win a red hat and my team win a red hat, it was really neat. And I wore Crocs to all the games as a coach, Rodney, because we were 0-2. I couldn't find my fancy shoes, so I wore Crocs because that's all the other shoes I have. And my assistant coach said, if we win this game, you got to keep rocking the Crocs. And while my Crocs went on a heater, I think their record come the end of the year between coaching Senior A and the Kinucks when I was on the bench was 55, 6, and 5.
That's a nice percentage right there.
It was, but the last game with the Wolves, we were down 3-0 in the finals, and I was just the helper outer guy, and then the coach got suspended and asked me to be the head coach. So I head coached the last game and lost the trophy. Tough debut.
Hey, got to start somewhere, right?
I guess you gotta learn how to lose to learn how to win, maybe.
Take the lesson and move on.
Or I just need to be better. But I don't know.
Well,
We did everything we could. We just ran to a really good team that never made any mistakes and played championship hockey. And we were missing Ethan Skinner, former Sure King, who is a winner and plays hockey the right way and plays for the team first. And we lost him right before the finals, and that really euchred us.
yeah, he's always been a great player. What's his story now?
He works at the plant and he dabbled in pro for a season or two. And he was about to go to Cardiff, and then they switched the coach, and it never happened. And then he joined the real world and plays for the Ripley Wolves and is an absolute game changer for them.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh yeah.
And in a few years he can be coaching.
Yeah, and yeah, and it's neat to get to know him. He was a Kincardine Canuck that won all Ontario's. Then he went to Elmira, won the Sutherland Cup, and we do have a lot of similarities that way. But going into the playoffs last season, he came in and gave my boys a pep talk and talked about winning all Ontario's and the memory for life. And then we went out and did it. And I appreciate good guys like that coming and talking to my team.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
The anyone who has played a high level hockey and your kids can look at, they are just like awestruck. And to send a good message like that is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Before we sign off here, I gotta say the OHL draft is tonight, and gotta wish my nephew good luck.
What's his name?
Zach Forwell.
Oh,
That's Derek and Amy's son. So
yeah.
I got my fingers crossed. I'd love to see him in Barber Pole, which would be pretty cool. But tonight is rounds 1 to 3, so I'm hoping his name's on there.
Well, I've been hearing about him for years from over here in Kincardine. I've heard he's been a player for years, and yeah, being a good player can get people talking, and I've sure heard his name. So yeah, good luck to him. It's like you said, the small town boys that came up the right way and our team first. I've actually talked to some OHL guys that are running things now, and they tell me that they tried to fill out their draft with small town boys more than the city boys, and I would completely agree with them.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all, because the guys who come from not as many resources, so to say, they're the ones who want to play.
Oh yeah, and they know how to dig down deep.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on the red hat. I
Hey, thank
love
you.
seeing it.
Too.
The last thing I had about my Crocs that I forgot about was Kurt Wilkie from Elmira. Follows along with the pod and all the things, and knows I love my Crocs and my gibbets that my players give me gibbets for my birthday and Christmas. And I got some sweet looking Crocs, Rodney. And I had a Kincardine Kinucks gibbet, and Kurt Wilkie was at All Ontario's reffing and ran into him, and he gave me a Woolwich gibbet for my Crocs, and it meant the world to have both my teams on my Crocs for the weekend.
Nice. That's awesome.
And then you guys won, and we won, and winning is fun, right?
So we got the good luck Crocs.
Oh yeah, I love my Crocs. But can't wait to see you May 24th. And anybody listening from Kincardine or Elmira, please sign up at brentwalton10@gmail.com and let's have fun golfing and raise money for the hospital, right?
Sounds wonderful.
Thanks for making the time for me and congratulations, sir. And this has been another episode of Two L's and Hockey Tales with Boom Train and Wally.